The Choice, Chapter 6. Two searchers, Florence and Mary, navigate through the green grottos and forest glens of Fall Mountain to find a hidden and treasured place, the rock house of the Leatherman. Florence, there it is! This looks like our cave. Two big rocks hanging over a dark hole. That hole's barely big enough for one person to crawl in. Who's going in first? Well, I suppose it's my treasure to find, so let me roll up my skirt. Mary, what if there are snakes inside? Give me that big stick. If I find one, I'll bat it outside like I do with the drunks in my saloon. Those guys are more dangerous than a whole pit of vipers. All right, Mary, well, I'll stand outside and give me a holler if you get stuck. It's really dark in here. Florence, can you stand aside a little bit more to let more light in? Even better, Mary, I'll open my pocket mirror and use it to catch the sunlight and reflect it inside for you. Florence uses her mirror to recast the light of the sun, like a magic spotlight, into the blackout of the cave. The shining circle of light dances around the surfaces of its rocky walls. Thanks, Florence, that's perfect. Move it over a little bit to the right. There's something over there. It's all the way back in there, but the deepest part here. There's a flat rock slab standing upright. Definitely put here by someone, like a hatch door protecting something. Let me see if I can move it. Oh, wow. You're going to want to see this. What is it? The charter? No, it's something carved into the rock wall. Figures and shapes and such. It looks really old, like ancient old. Petroglyphs. Really? Of what? It's really dark, but I can see a letter like an X and some wavy lines. There's two figures, a man and an animal, like a dog, and then some other shapes. Maybe our Leatherman drew these? Could be. Anything else? Nope. No charter. Shucks. Just a dry hole. Well, we're not empty-handed here. Here, I'll rip a page from my notebook, and I'll give you my pencil. You can use it to rub an imprint of the petroglyphs. There you go. Sure, give it here. All right, stand back. I'm coming out. There you are, Florence. Take a look-see. Wow, look at this. So that's all of it, yes? All that I could see and rub out. What a find. This is something to write about. Tough shakes for me, though. No charter, no credit. Maybe not, Mary. Maybe not. What, you know a banker who accepts caveman sketches for credit? I know at least one banker who will. Miles Lewis Peck, a round man with a round mustache, a man whose record of continuous management of the Bristol Savings Bank will stand as one of the longest in the history of banking in the United States, is seated comfortably in his office chair when two women present themselves before him in muddy boots, ruffled dresses, and thorny twigs sticking out of their hair. Mrs. Muzzy, good day. I must say you look like you were dragged through a marsh by a runaway horse. Is everything okay? I'm fine. I just went for a walk in the woods with my friend Mary here. Oh, well, how may I be of service? I'd like to petition for a loan on behalf of Miss Mary, and I have brought legal tender as collateral. Very funny, ma'am, but unfortunately we don't accept children's chicken scratch as a form of payment. It's not a cartoon, Mr. Peck, it's a deed. A bit old, but still legitimate. A secret cave with ancient petroglyphs is a valuable piece of real estate. Don't you agree? I've seen your clients stake rickety barn shacks as collateral for a loan. So I please ask that you consult your brother, the historian, or your other brother, the Yale professor, or even better, your wife, an educated school teacher and a friend of mine. Any of them can advise you on the real estate value of a cave with a 100-year-old petroglyph inside. A 100-year-old petroglyph? That's what this is? Could even be a 200-year-old petroglyph. Call the director of the Historical Society. Have him come down and take a look. Mary can lead him out to where we found it. but only if she gets the loan she needs. Do we have a deal, Mr. Peck? Mary leans forward and offers her hand. And Miles Lewis Peck, if only for the pursuit of a curiosity, for a rare adventure away from the routine life of a bank manager, accepts the handshake. A deal we have. Now, let me grab my coat. I want to see this for myself. The offer of adventure. It is the origin of so many stories, so many destinies, transformations. Adventures begin, they speed and slow, they twist and turn and revolve and spiral. And then they arrive at the rock monument of every adventure's last stop, at their Terminus stone, their end. We arrive now in the winter of 1899. In the moments before a new Gregorian century is inaugurated, 2 of Bristol's first citizens pass unto death. Sadness rings from the bell tower of the magnificent Prospect Methodist Church for the passing of the patron who built it, John Humphrey Sessions. Further down the Prospect Street, Charles Treadway stands before the employees of the Bristol National Bank and reads, "In memoriam, the directors of the Bristol National Bank desire to place upon record their sorrow at the lamented death of their president, John H. Sessions. Faithful to duty, strict in meeting his obligations and appointments, liberal in his charities, he was also staunch in loyalty to his friends and vigorous in the prosecution of all matters coming into his hands. In his death, this institution and the community suffer an affliction which cannot be measured." As the tombstone of the eldest Sessions is sewed into the hilltop of West Cemetery, it is also written that the harvest of a new century will not arrive without another reaping. Nathan Burge hears not church bells, but a chiming clock next to his bed, where he lies weakened by a prolonged sickness. His body will soon fail to sustain his spirit, and he senses it. The time has come to offer closure to the people and pursuits of his life. Family and friends are called upon for their prayers and respects, and among this exclusive list is Charles Treadway. Charles is invited into the privacy of the Burge Hall at the request of Nathan, for the purpose of, Charles assumes, settling old accounts and tendering official duties. But that is not what Nathan intends. Instead, Nathan offers Charles a very unusual conversation. "Mr. Burge, sir, as you are the vice president of our Bristol National Bank, please know that upon the passing of Mr. Sessions, the bank's directors will soon tender an election for you to be our new president." "Thank you, Charles. Your consideration is an honor. However, due to my ill health, I am unable to accept the position." "Quite understandable, Mr. Burge. We'll draft a list of candidates for your review. There are many other prominent men in town with sound management skills. You, Charles. I choose you." "Oh, my. Thank you, sir. I am deeply privileged to hold your confidence in this." "But do you know why, Charles? Why I choose you?" "As the bank's cashier, I imagine you trust me to keep the bank's management on good course." "No, that is not the reason. It is because you and I share a commonality, a singular bond. We both married women who were born under the family name of Terry. My wife, Adeline, is a grandniece of Eli Terry, and your dear and remembered wife, Margaret, was his great-granddaughter. They, and by that bloodline, our children, are descendants of the clockmaker, Eli Terry. And because of that bloodline, Charles, we, you and I, share a burden. One might even call it a curse." "A curse, Mr. Burge? Are you trying to scare me into some sort of new deal?" "You are a man of finance, are you not, Charles? You, of all men, understand that debts must be paid, and that an unpaid debt does not disappear. An aggrieved party seeks to be made whole, if not by the debtor, then by those who inherit the debt, especially those who have the means to repay it, to repay the debts of their fathers, and may one day be called upon to do so. A grave debt such as this is it not also a kind of curse? There is a grave debt that stands before us, and until it's repaid, until a balance is restored, all who carry the debt, this curse, and everything they have built will be collateral. It will be at stake. Everything. This is the natural order of things. This is balance. And what debt, Mr. Burge, might you and I be cursed into repaying? I wish so much that it is us who can repay it. But we are accepted. It is our children who must repay it. Hear me now, Charles, and listen well. Afterwards, you can choose to believe or not believe what I tell you. But in this moment, listen to what I have to say, because my knowledge of it did not come easy or without a personal price. For many years, I pursued a mission to investigate the secrets of Bristol's clockmakers, a quest that led to a very serious conclusion. It has become known to me that Eli Terry, the clockmaker from Plymouth, from whom our children descend, incurred a very grave debt. He borrowed from the natural order of things to create something very unnatural, but also very profitable, a secret and powerful clock. And while Eli prospered from this invention and its fruits, he never repaid his debt. I do not believe he knew how, but I do, and I need your help. There is a privately held belief among myself and others who have studied particular happenings in this town that something is amiss, something is misaligned, that the clock governing our days is not keeping time as it should, and that, for the Terry family in particular, time is stolen. It is reclaimed. I cannot account for all the tally of souls in the Terry bloodline who have been taken from us before the fair blessings of old age. The figure is many and the causes are numerous. Yet, a careful study of its unnatural course leads us in only one direction, back to Plymouth, and to the clock shop of Eli Terry. The Terry family name bears a curse that is like a beast, an old and ancient beast that stalks those who become indebted to it, a beast that reclaims its unpaid debts, not from banks, but from bloodlines. Like all predators, it knows the scent of blood of its prey from afar, across generations of the indebted. Because even though we do not descend from Eli Terry, our children do. It is not our debt to settle. It is not our curse. It is theirs. Our firstborn children, my son, your daughter, passed far too soon. 60, 70, maybe 80 years reclaimed from them to pay the great debt of the Terrys. I now fear for the lives of my living children. I hear what you're saying, Mr. Burge. I just don't know what to say. For right now, Charles, listen. The origin of this curse is an artifact that has passed through many hands. It is a secret clock invented by Gideon Roberts, built by Eli Terry, rediscovered by Joseph Ives, and then hidden by my father, John Burge, for reasons which I have struggled to understand until now. This secret clock, it is the origin, the keystone, and the absolution from the curse. My father hid the clock to protect us, because he believed that the absence of the clock from the world of men, from the tinkering hands of humanity, could defeat the curse. That breaking it into pieces and hiding them all away would starve the beast into submission, as it would remove all the sources of the things which sustained it. But instead, it did the opposite, because my father misunderstood the nature of a curse. Curses do not weaken with time. No, time makes them stronger. Like the accumulation of interest on a debt. Each passing day, every added year, makes the debt grow bigger, the beast more ferocious. My father's mistake was a grave one. By hiding the clock for so long, he prevented us from using it to restore the balance, to repay our debt. And that half of a century of time became like a steak dinner to the beast. It is not weaker, no, its teeth are longer now, and it sits upon the mountaintop, looking out upon its prey, Our town, Bristol, all who inhabit it and everything they built, what you have built, as a town constructed from the profits of its first clockmakers, as justified collateral to be reclaimed for Eli Terry's unpaid debt. This is what is at stake here, Charles. Everyone most dear to you and everything you have built. If we are accursed, as you say, Mr. Burge, what can I ever do to change that? You must find the secret clock, Charles, the clock that I never found, but which I know is still hidden right here in Bristol. I found many clues and even tried to rebuild it, but now my quest is forsaken, my time expired. For the sake of our children, of our cherished community, this clock is our only defense against the beast that will hunt them. I hope my confidence is not misplaced, and that you understand the urgency. In my will, you will find a portion of my ownership shares of the bank bequeathed to you, so that you have the resources to accomplish the task that I'm asking of you. Do not make the mistake of going it alone. Recruit trusted agents who can assist you, who can protect you, but never reveal their identities, even to each other, because it puts them in danger. After my final day, one of my agents, my most trusted agent, will deliver you a package. It will not bear my name, but you will recognize that this package is from me because it will have a unique mark, a color, the color yellow. Inside this yellow package will be a letter with special instructions and a map. Follow the clues, find the clock, restore the balance. That was my mission, but it is your choice. And if I don't believe as strongly as you do, Mr. Burge, in these things of which you speak, you will, one day soon. When the beast comes for our children, you will know, you will see, you will feel the truth of it. Because if you can believe in a curse, you can believe in a clock. The funeral for Nathan Burge is held at his magnificent residence on Bellevue Avenue at 2 o'clock on a chilly October afternoon. Bells are rung across the factory floors of Bristol, and their workers released early in his honor. The assemblage of mourners encircles the house. Family, friends, clergy of many denominations, business and manufacturing men. The Reverend of the Congregational Church delivers his sermon, and Nathan is remembered. Nathan Burge was a man of noble character, a pillar of support and confidence, a model for many a young man to pattern after, a man whose many enterprises has made Bristol what it is today. He sought adventure far from home, but in Bristol he was born, in Bristol he was educated, and in Bristol he centered the greater part of his vocations during the greatest part of his life. He never identified with the politics of our town. Rather, he was a regular attendant upon its church, rarely missing a Sunday during a period of 41 years. He regarded his wealth as a trust to be administered for the benefit of religion and humanity. His purse strings were never drawn against a call for a worthy charity, public or private, while the amount of his personal benefactions to the needy, always confidentially bestowed, is known only to him who said, "Let not your left hand know what your right hand doeth." Where business adversaries were encountered, his experience and business ability, coupled with an indomitable will, accomplished much. Success crowned his efforts. Nathan's casket is covered in flowers, the largest display of which is gifted by the loyal employees of Burge & Sons. It is a replica of the Burge factory, a castle built by Nathan, burnt to the ground, rebuilt and rising up again now in a phoenix of flowers. 6 of the factory's foremen step forward to serve as the active bearers of the casket. The procession finds its terminus at West Cemetery at the hour of the setting sun. And here, our olden time story, the legend of Nathan Loomis Burge rests. A few days after the funeral is October the 31st, Halloween. Joel Case strolls the sidewalks of Federal Hill in the darkness of this Halloween night, dodging the cloaks and daggers of wayward youths who strike terror among those still awake by thumping cabbage stumps against their doors. As he walks towards the center green, he is waylaid by a gaggle of kids in colorful costumes, a boy in a feathery chicken hat, 2 pirates, and a musketeer. The costumed kids dance down the sidewalk as the bell tower atop Federal Hill tolls 10 o'clock. Joel instinctively flips open his pocket watch to check if it runs the same time, or if it errs, to align it with the tower clock of the Congregational Church, as Bristol's timekeepers have done for nearly 70 years since a clock was installed in its steeple. It is in this moment that a strange figure crosses in front of the steps of the church, walking briskly down the hill of Maple Street. Joel, from across the street, witnesses him as a dark figure silhouetted against the backdrop of the bright white church. He witnesses a man dressed in an old and authentic Halloween costume, in the traditional embroidered habit of a native Tungus tribesman. A man in a costume. Or is it? When Joel crosses the road and looks down Maple Street, the figure is gone. Only empty sidewalks and the fading ring of a church bell. For many weeks after the passing of Nathan Burge, Charles Treadway waits for his special delivery, for the mysterious package. Then, one late and freezing cold night in December, a knock raps upon his house door. It's the night watchman from the Bristol Water Company with an urgent message. "Sir, there's a problem at the water company. Gatehouse 1 has lost pressure. There's flooding all over, and the superintendent says that in this temperature the pipes might freeze up." "Is the maintenance team down there yet?" "Just the superintendent, sir." "You go call up the maintenance team. I'll go down now to help the superintendent. This is much more than a one-man job, and we don't have much time before the pipes burst." Charles may be president of a prestigious bank, but in his heart he remains a cashier, a frontline man, someone who does not pass a calamity along like a hot potato. He does not delegate danger. He acts, fixes things with his own hands when the situation demands it. Charles races down to the water company's Gatehouse 1, where he finds a very bad situation. A tidal wave of freezing water from Bristol's massive uphill reservoir is channeled into narrow pipes and propelled by the force of gravity straight into the gatehouse's outlet screen, a screen that is blockaded by a barrier wall of accumulating chunks of solid ice. "Superintendent, what's the status?" "There's too much anchor ice on the outlet screen. We need to break it up, or the backup is going to blow the whole line." "Hand me a tool and show me where to start." Charles is handed an axe and enters the gatehouse. Inside, a rising tide of ice-cold water is slowly flooding the confines of the cramped little space. Charles and the superintendent step into the ankle-deep waters and begin to hack away at the blocks of ice, damming up the outlet screen. With each strike, gushes of freezing water shoot up and dampen their clothes. The water's temperature is deadly. It's hypothermic, but the job must be done. And so Charles and the superintendent continue their dreadful task inside this sub-zero death trap. "That's it, Mr. Treadway. We knocked loose the bulk of the ice. Let's go before we freeze dead on our feet. The team will be here soon to do the rest." "Wait a moment. There's something at the bottom here." Charles sees something at the bottom of the reservoir well. A shiny object that signals to him through the mirror of the icy pool. An item with a gravity that compels him to retrieve it. It's small and circular and gold-colored, and it's something he instantly recognizes as his own lost treasure. Charles plunges his arm down inside the icy waters, above the elbow, up to the shoulder now, half of his face submerged in order to reach it, to snatch this precious little item before it is taken by the rushing waters. Mr. Treadway, what are you doing? Get out of the water before you freeze yourself to death. Charles's fingers close around it as freezing water penetrates his body and chills his core to a dangerous and hypothermic condition. Then at once, the superintendent pulls him out of the icy pool. A drenched and delirious Charles Treadway stumbles out of the gatehouse, then collapses on the ground, shivering from exposure. He is rushed to the house of Dr. Hull, who strips his wet clothes and covers him in dry blankets on a bench next to a fireplace. The doctor vigorously massages his arms and legs to stimulate blood flow, and as he does so, Charles's left hand is loosened, and a special object that was tightly clutched inside drops to the floor. It is a gold pocket watch inscribed C.S. Treadway from his father, January 24th, 1869. The next morning is a very dark December morning. A morning when the frost takes its chokehold over all the landscapes of man and nature. A morning when the branches of the trees appear no more than bare bones, stripped of their beautiful leafy ornaments. And as if this present moment needed its own avatar, one such symbol now appears in the skies above Bristol. A massive column of black smoke spirals upwards into the sky, like the raising of a black flag atop the mast of an enemy ship as it invades a virgin harbor. And this menacing pillar of smoke, this black flag, is raised over the E.N. Welsh Manufacturing Company. The dozens of structures that comprise the Welsh family's industrial complex in Forestville all catch fire. They implode, explode, and collapse into a heaping, flaming wreckage. Forestville's Welsh Steam Fire and Engine Hose Company wages a valiant effort to fight the blaze, but the inferno is too tense. The E.N. Welsh Manufacturing Company is burnt to the ground. And so, 12 years after his death, Elijah Welsh's empire follows him to the grave. The devastating conflagration that sinks the flagship of the House of Welsh is also an irrefutable conspiracy of espionage and arson. Like so many factory fires before it, the origin of the blaze remains conveniently unsolved. A flame that was lit in the shadows by a secret rival, or maybe a secret society of them. It is here where this chapter ends, so that another can begin. The twin funerals of Sessions and Burge in the twilight of 1899 are a metaphor for this moment. The lineage of human events, of happenings, is a natural order, a balancing, a procession of time and of times. It is a thread that weaves in and out in a loop, stitching memories and legacies into the fabric of the future. In every place, and in Bristol especially, the remembrances of those who came before, of what they built and of what they failed to accomplish, the debts unpaid and the stakes on the table, will be a new story, our next story. It is the story of the descendants. In this final moment, we draw our eyes 25 miles due south of the Federal Hill Green to another green in New Haven, the green at the heart of the prestigious Yale University. A messenger rushes through a maze of mahogany halls to interrupt a classroom full of students. "Professor, I must excuse one of your students, Mr. Charles Terry Treadway. Is that you, son? Please, come with me to the dean's office. You're not in any trouble, but it's urgent." The young student is the only living child of Charles Treadway and Margaret Terry, also named Charles. He follows the messenger to the dean's office, where he learns of the dire health condition of his father. A carriage is summoned, and he is whisked up the Waterbury Valley Turnpike and home to Bristol. Soon he is running down an icy sidewalk, climbing the porch of his father's house, distressed and anxious to see him. He knocks loudly on the door, but no one answers. The house is empty. The boy tries to open the door, but it is locked. so he just sits down on the stairs of the porch to wait. It is in this moment that a special courier arrives, a 14-year-old boy dressed in a scrappy coat, pressed trousers, and an Irish accent. "This be the Treadway house?" "Yes. Can I help you?" "My name's Thomas. My father sent me to deliver this package to Charles Treadway, right into his hands and no one else." "That's me. I'm Charles Treadway." Charles accepts a package, wrapped in brown paper, marked with the name of its intended recipient, C. Treadway Sr. The package lingers in his hands. It's meant for his father. But it could be something important, maybe even something urgent. Charles makes a choice. He peels back a corner of the paper wrapping. There's something shiny and yellow inside. He opens it.